And let's talk about this tea regarding RuPaul's Drag Race. So while we up in here loving all the things that people are feeling about this season, according to Rob Shutter, word on the curb is because of what's going on with Paramount and the fact that it's run by the Ellisons. A lot of people say it's David Ellison. No, I think his daddy is running it or whatever the case is. He gave him the money. And so now it's facing an uncertain future. The show might be in danger because of what's going on over there. The corporate shakeups and all that stuff. So RuPaul's Drag Race could be heading into its most dramatic season yet, and this time the real chaos isn't on camera. Now, sources tell Naughty But Nice the iconic franchise is quietly in trouble amid major corporate shakeups tied to new ownership moves involving David Ellison and Larry Ellison. Because David Ellison ain't running about him, so his daddy. Everything is under the microscope, and nothing, not even a global hit, is guaranteed safe. Insiders say the new leadership priorities are shifting fast and not everyone makes the cut. This is a colder, more calculated vision chasing a different audience, and Drag Race doesn't fit as easily as it once did. Now, behind the scenes, sources point to a deeper tension. LGBTQ plus content, especially drag and trans storytelling, is no longer being embraced with the same enthusiasm as in certain executive circles. Probably because you have people going around talking about trans people are trying to steal your jobs and are, doing all the things, but it's the oligarchs and it's the 1%, it's all the rich people that are out here cutting all your jobs and stealing all the money and leaving us with crumbs. So it's easy to pick on trans people. It's easy to pick on queer people and say they're the problem when it's not them. So now you have corporate people in these situations that are chopping programming left and right, and people are, feeling away. They said there's real hesitation around anything deemed too woke, and drag and trans voices are suddenly being treated as a risk. The show's long celebrated for its cultural impact and fearless visibility is now caught in a larger corporate reset. This isn't about ratings anymore. It's about optics, branding, and who they want to be seen supporting. Inside production, anxiety is building, saying people are rattled because no one can clearly say where the show fits in this new agenda. Well, Drag Race is what it is, but I definitely feel like the show needs a shakeup. I don't think it's necessarily, the queer storytelling and all that is great, but the show was just, I don't know. I just think that a lot of people are just overall complaining about the show. The queens aren't as compelling. The competition is kind of meh. Like some of the challenges are meh. And Rude, to me, no shade, but I said this before. Rude definitely feels like he's been phoning it in lately. Like you just show up to work, they put a battery in your back, they pull a little string in the back, make you just say a couple of things, and you're just there. You're physically there, but emotionally you're not present. And that's what some people feel like the show was kind of like not as exciting as it once was. So they said for a franchise built on boldness and identity, the uncertainty cuts deep. The show didn't just entertain, it shifted culture and now it's being forced to justify its place. Well, everything that has a beginning has an end. I don't know if I'm ready for Drag Race to go. I definitely feel like we need more queer content on here, on our TVs. I've been saying for years that we need more drag based competition on television and not just Drag Race being the overall face of drag. It's not even like a show about the art of drag. It's a competition series that has drag queens on it. That's literally what RuPaul's Drag Race is giving. And it's now with like this big well-oiled machine. But because Drag Race is making a lot of money and is very successful, especially in the queer community, that's some good coins for y'all. But I wonder this: if the show was to be chopped, what would World of Wonder do with it? Would they want to finally take on the responsibility of producing a drag race, find some sponsors or whatever to help foot the bill, and just exclusively put it on? If Paramount decides to get rid of it and put it on Wow Presents Plus, like what would they have to do to keep a show like RuPaul's Drag Race afloat? Because like we said, when Top Model lasted as long as it did, we loved the show, but we moved on from it. And I don't think people miss it all that much, even though Tyra has been threatening to give us a cycle 25. But what would they necessarily do about the future of the show, or where would it go? I don't know. So I'm, on one hand, I'm a little nervous because yeah, there's certain things about Drag Race that irritates my spirit. Y'all be hearing me complain about it on here, but but the show is definitely detrimental to the community. It's definitely a show we needed. It definitely felt a coldness and a sense of, I'll tell you this, I definitely felt a sense of coldness and uncertainty at the premiere. When I was there, it just felt a little different. Like, there were some of the people that were part of the whole situation weren't there anymore. And you could definitely feel there was a cut down in the budget in regards to the premiere. Like, everything was so confined and claustrophobic in this place compared to the season before, where I told y'all when we did season 17, it was 2 floors where it was like the lower level, they had like this little Christmas theme thing where everybody could walk through and take pictures with the queens. And then we went upstairs in the elevator and it was literally took us to the spot where we got to watch the episode on a big screen. It was introduced by Simone Ye. She introduced the thing. She was also hosting, and we had like a big after party afterwards. So it was a nice big space. So they threw some money up in this thing. It definitely, that premiere definitely gave Gia Gunn. Was there no budget this time around? It was a cute little spot we had, and it was a nice little club, but it just felt too small and felt too claustrophobic. It felt very much like early season Drag Race. That's what it was giving. So um I hope they can work it out. But yeah, just like, I just wish David Ellison would focus on trying to build Paramount instead of starting with all this crappy right wing dystopian Zionist bullshit that they've been promoting over there on CBS, particularly, and their network. Because y'all stock is in the toilet, and that's what y'all need to be focused on. So hopefully they work this thing out. Hopefully that this is not necessarily, I mean, Rob Short, I don't think would just be out here lying and making stuff up, but this has been something that has been kind of in the back of my head that I've been thinking about regarding Drag Race and the future of Drag Race, and of course it being up under the Ellison, now under Ellison's, now that they own Paramount and they bought it. So these are things that I do worry about, but hopefully, things will work out the way they need to. So I say all this to say, what do you guys think of this story? Do you think that we could be facing cancellation of Drag Race? I did have a conversation with a friend of mine who does a lot of work within the Drag Race situation, and he said, when do you think that they're going to wrap up the season of drag, like the series of drag? When do you think that RuPaul will actually walk away? And I was like, I just threw a number. I was like, season 20, season 21, like one around them time. So that's like 2 more seasons we got. If I was to be correct on some stuff. So I never want to hear from you. When do y'all actually think they will wrap up Drag Race? Because I can't see them doing RuPaul Drag Race season 35. By that time, Ru will be in a damn walker. So, and what do you think about this story overall? So whatever your thoughts are, let me know in the comments down below.